I stand firmly in the fact that I'm one of the best to ever do this. For the culture, for my coast, and for my city. This is the Best Rapper in LA podcast. And I'm your host, Murs. What up, though? All right, y'all. We had a little bit of a break. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but it's strange. Laryngitis or something, I don't know. I lost my voice. But the last episode was a little all over the place. Point blank, what we need is, what I need is some therapy, period. That's all I need is some fucking therapy. And this podcast and y'all and Rob Van Rankin can't be my motherfucking therapist. I just got some whole shit last episode I didn't need to get into. So I listened to it, tried to chop it up, and I was like, fuck it, Rob, we're just gonna miss a week. And then that fucked me up because we need to build momentum. This whole podcast and telling the story all came out of me doing this last album. And the last album is here, y'all. I'm still doing one more part over. It's really going up to the wire. But shit, I should have done it before I did this. But anyway, yeah, this Friday, March 14th, the single Silver Lake Rec League comes out. And just to be old school, because single 12-inch 45 style, there's a B-side. The B-side is Flowers for Will.i.am. Both produced by the great Jesse Shatkin, a.k.a. Belief, who did God's Work, Okie Dog, and Pussy and Pizza. All those jams, we've been making music together since we were 15. If you know the podcast, you know who he is. Single should be out Friday, March 14th. Silver Lake Rec Leagues rap, Jesse made the slap, kicked all the kiddies off the court and never gave it back. Yeah, sinister, monotheist, the minister, holla bread beginning and Manischewitz the finisher, terrorize the temperature, serenading the signature, Serengeti salute, the camel carries the emperor, nobody remembers you, second place trophy type, take the L and get a BBL for your trophy wife, watching where she go at night, she ain't coming home tonight, trust your gut, I know it's right, I wrote it cause I know your life, screaming culture but you never left the country, your girl look like she want me, I'm just trying to borrow her scrunchie, hooping with my friends at the Silver Lake Gym. The album will be for sale, pre-order, 316 copies for sale at Mellow Music Group. If you buy that record, it's $100 for the Ultimate Deluxe Edition, signed, OB strip, whatever, you keep saying that, plus a floppy flexi disc 7-inch of God's Work, which is the first song me and Belief, aka Jesse Shatkin, ever had on wax. My first single on Def Jux, plus other bells and whistles come with this amazing gatefold, full color, glossy, UV embossed foil vinyl. If you've seen Brother Ali's vinyl, then you know how Mellow Music do it. Yeah, we partner with Mellow Music. That came through at the last minute, and that's another reason it's been hectic to get this podcast done. I've been talking to Mike and Pike and trying to make this right for y'all. If you don't want to cop that version, you cop that version, you get the pre-order of the album, and you immediately get a download of the record. Everybody else, you can wait as we roll out these singles. This will be the only A, B-side, or double A-side single, and about every 3 weeks or so, we'll be throwing out some new jams. To get y'all ready for the album, there's a video we shot for Silver Lake Rec League that I had to produce, pull the permit for myself, dealing with the police. They were really nice. Way more helpful than some of the people in the city parks and recreation video office. You would think that in the film capital of the world, it'd be easy for a local emerging artist to pull permits. They made it so hard. And the police even showed up and like, it shouldn't have been that hard, bro. But thank you to Spanky. Thank you to my homeboy Zeus from A Plus Films. Shot the video, shout out to Fredo, Nicholas and Edwin. But my homie Zeus, Mr. O Films, who's an executive producer of Mondaze, really helped me out to get the permit. Hope y'all enjoy the Silver Lake Rec League song, video, and the Flowers for Will.i.am. His birthday's on the 15th, mine's on the 16th.
I kind of pushed to just like give him his flowers on his birthday. And then when you hear the song, you'll know how much of an inspiration he's been to me.
Let me tell y'all a story about the Black Eyed Peas, known around the world as some whack MCs. Wait, 1 sec, allow me to object, state my case for the great Will 1X. For years in my city, in the cypher snapping necks, the man's a living legend and deserves his respect. Started in the project, slowly making progress. Never did he stress, cause he trusted in the process. I was young and mystic, going to club ballistics. Will and them dropping with Easy E for Christmas. Weirdos on the gangsta rap label. Soon as I saw they did it, I knew that I was able. Shout out to Taboo and Apple the Yap. The homies put a battery in my backpack. Just a little weird dude, they thought I was whack. But guess what they said when they found that I could rap? Since then, I've been trying to get the Will 1 checks. $1 million to $1 billion, why can't I be next? Somebody tell Will to return my text.
This album's been keeping me up at night, man. So, yeah, a lot going on health-wise. I'm just trying to get right for this tour. I don't think I'm going to have any merch for y'all. Sorry. I'm not going to have a DJ. This is going to be a raw. The last run is going to be raw. But it's going to be dope. The set we're putting together. If you don't have tickets, Murs316.com. That's what's going on currently. Now, Love and Rockets 316. That's the name of the album, The Emancipation. It's been keeping me up at night. It's like I'm never spoken so freely on this podcast. There's like 80 hours of me talking shit out there. And I have a tendency to not be as sensitive as I should be and be overly critical of others, and rappers and people are sensitive. So I'm sorry if I offended you, and I feel like this record may ruffle some feathers. I hope not, but yeah, it's the freest I've ever been on a record. And that's what Love and Rockets 2, the declaration, was about. I was kind of declaring myself. And then we're at Love and Rockets 1, the transformation. This is where it all started.
Epic salutations to all around the nation, engaging in this form of energetic transformation. High form communication, the vibes we sending out to all who thought the real was lost and had to live in doubt. I try to finish out, I rarely replicate, represent and reproduce my records at respected rates. Quality, quantity, qualified sonically to correlate a classic catalog for the colony. Something like a pharmacy, hardest dope I'm pushing out. This is something heavy for the stoners getting smoked out. Loped out, psycho.
Trying to be as respectful as I can to my former partner, just in regards to her business. But yeah, I just got married after, around the time of Final Adventure. But the Love and Rockets one, I was definitely into the marriage. Very excited about being married. Rapped about it a lot on this record. Not a lot, but some. And yeah, like I think this is the discipline that comes along with monogamy is empowering, and I'm a discipline addict. I'm overly, hard on myself. So like vegan diet, monogamy, like all these things, no drinking. Like I like to just be extreme. And as I work on this third final album, it's loosened me up. Part of being free is being loose and not trying to adhere to ideology or dates or times, which is really challenging for me as a control freak. So transformation, declaration, emancipation concept came from what Rob Van Vranken would call a cult. He has a podcast about cults. He has done an episode on this organization. It's called Landmark. I went to this thing hoping to, help someone close to me that didn't really ask for my help. And to get them to go, I kind of went with them. And it's just, how they, break your barriers, whatever's holding you back. And I kind of done most of it my whole life, worked through it, my shit. And then when I had my nervous breakdown right around varsity blues, and then I had to do cognitive behavioral therapy and all that shit, I kind of like, all right. And then I kind of like, you can live the life you always dreamed. And this is, praise God, the life that I dreamed thanks to y'all and a lot of sacrifice and, a lot of great people in my circle. And I've been living my dream. So it really wasn't for me. But I was like, let me just humor this shit. It's like, look at the person next to you and tell them what you've always dreamed. And yeah, motherfucker, I told my mama that shit. She told me, nah. So I've been on my shit. But I was like, okay. So one thing I came up with, I had this crazy ass hair. It was getting hard to fucking sleep. My neck was like, it was intense physically. We talked about it, the intense time I had with Jamaica and the dreadlocks, and now I'm living in Tucson. It's a thing. And I'm like, all right, man, well, did I grow this hair to kind of scare people away from me? I knew I didn't do it. I knew the story went back to my homie Hinak, who I just saw with these crazy dreads and his confidence. And he's an Ethiopian dude from Inglewood. And I knew that I was living in this neighborhood. And he just walked by my house the other day with his dog. And we got to reconnect after so many years. It was dope. But, you know, one time, like a famous rapper hit me up in my DMs like, "Hey, man, is Basquiat the reason you grew your hair like that?" I was like, "Nah, it's my nigga Hinak from Inglewood." And he was laughing. He's like, "Only you, Murs." Like, only. But that was my inspiration, because the confidence, the swagger he had. And I, you know, like, when you see something like that's already, you know, KRS One to tell you everything's happening at once. I forgot his definition of time. If you've ever been to a KRS One show, you know, you can tell your future self now what is happening then. And you will, you know, that type of shit. I saw it and I knew that that was there for me for multiple reasons, aside from my admiration for him. But I was like, maybe I just grew it to scare people away, because I think that I've been rejected, especially by my peers, my African-American peers. My whole life I've been made fun of for being left of center, for talking, I don't, incomplete sentences, or reading, like, my hairstyle, like, so did I just, for, you know, still liking Disney movies, all the things that weren't mainstream and cool. At first it was because I smoked weed, and then weed became cool. I've seen everything I've done, not everything, but things, you know, comic books that picked on me for that, or picked at me, I don't think on me, but picked at me for that. And then now every, you know, mainstream Black American is so into Wakanda. I'm like, motherfucker, these books were coming out years ago. Brock Badger's been around since Fantastic Four issue, whatever the fuck. But did I grow this hair to, like, just not be accepted, just give up on being accepted by people in general? Was I pushing people away before they even got a chance to know me? So I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to do this transformation. I'm going to cut my hair and make sure that, like, this is what I really want, you know, and this is, you know, and make some music where, like, make these 3 last albums where, you know, transform my look, transform my appearance, you know, like, be more positive and more intentional with my music and my thoughts, and dare to dream of, like, really going after the Grammys, even though, like, if you look at the liner notes, I think it's for good music. Like, I'm saying I want to go 13 times platinum and I want these things, but am I self-sabotaging with the hair, with the beat choice, with everything? I'm like, am I trying to make a hit record? Have I ever really gone in? And I did on Murs for President, but, like, I'm like, did I give up? Maybe it's because I wasn't living right and blah, blah, blah. So this is the transformation. So we go through this program. You have to call people and apologize, and, you know, I had my list of people, and it was just a stretch, because even the people I called were like, what are you talking about? I was, like, just trying to go along with it in the name of helping somebody close to me who didn't need or want my help. So this record, also, I was on tour with a guy named Tabby Benet. Tabby was somebody, I was sitting on my homeboy's couch, just called him about this couch. It's the couch where I watched the Seahawks blow the Super Bowl. Pete Carroll should have just let Marshawn run the fucking ball. He reminded me something else happened crazy on this couch. But it was a couch where I walked in his apartment one day and John Cena was sitting there. Also, I was sitting there one day and fucking the video for Beat Rock by Tabby Benet came on.
I'm from DC, I'm from DC, Yeah, and they don't believe it, you know. So I just tell them this right here. Let the beat rock, let the beat rock, let the beat rock.
And he was just like, I'm from DC. You know, he has this unique voice, but his slang and his swag was like some of my cousins who are from PG County, Maryland. And I just love when people have something unique. That's what I loved about Houston rap when I first heard it. That's what I loved about Tabby. Like, and that's what I love about New Orleans rap. When I first heard Soulja Slim, it was just like, man, I don't know if we talked about great Soulja Slim, rest in peace. He had a song, I think we talked about it on the podcast, but it was just like, write me, girl, and I'll write you back. I'm locked up in my cell, don't act like that.
Write me, bitch, I'll write you back. I'm locked off in my cell, don't act like that.
Ho, accept my call, I'll be home in a minute. The fuck you also want you.
Write me, bitch, I'll write you back. I'm locked off in my cell, don't act like that.
Ho, accept my call, I'll be home in a minute. The fuck you all. What's up, old girl, with your big healthy ass?
there's people who glorify like gang culture and black culture and street culture. And then there's the people who are like, oh, because when you live it, and it's, I'm not living the street life, but I'm a black person living in the inner city. Like, I know what it's like to like have your homie call because his girl put a block on the phone, or, like shit flies right by. Like, I'm like, yeah, like that's like the non-glamorous shit. Like that's like, he raps about like going through the metal detector, going to see your homie on visiting day and shit. Like that's the shit that we're going through. So I just really love the authenticity of Tabby when I heard him. He sounded like something new, something authentic. And I DM'd him on Twitter immediately. It was like, yo, you need to do paid dues, because we always did the Merriweather Amphitheater in Maryland, and we would never have anybody from DC on stage. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. They got dope MCs somewhere. I was like, when we were doing paid dues in the IE, that's how I came across Noah James, 60 East, rest in peace, DJ Rowdy A. I wanted to involve people from the community. You don't throw something in somebody's yard and not have it, It's hood etiquette. I like to attribute that to like gang culture. Like you don't pop up, or, street culture, you don't pop up on somebody's block without checking in. Or, so I like to support what's going on locally. So I was like, this would be a perfect guy. Boom. We hooked up. He was grateful. I loved his music and his performance, his get down so much. I was like, you want to go on tour? He was like, yeah. So we went on the Road to Pay Dues tour. I believe it was him, me, Absol, and Hoey Bread when I was doing the punk rock thing. And man, I'll tell this story. I told it last week, but I think this is a worthy story. We were in Saskatoon, and it was some crazy amount of cold. I still didn't do the research, but I think there's a point where Celsius gets colder than Fahrenheit. There's a point where it switches. And I think they were trying to tell me, I fuck cold. I was very angry that I was in the cold. But we had a show to do. So eventually I meet a bouncer at the club, a woman who was really cool, but like she looked like she lift weights. She was a very strong woman, and she was like, don't be a pussy, go outside. I was like, fuck, you know what? I'm gonna go to Starbucks and like get something warm and get a tea and come back for the show. Fuck it, I'm gonna get out, and I'm only gonna be able to be in this shit once in my life. I was like, nobody's coming to the show. She was like, this is normal for us. Pre-sale's $350, bro. What you talking about? Ended up being 500 people. On the way back into the venue, I see a girl, girl, she was younger, in fishnet stockings and a denim miniskirt coming to my show. I was like, all right. It upped my spirits. I was like, all right, I'm up for it. We get in there, and it was, bro, when I tell you, it was like, I won't say packed, it was 500 kids, but it was like, just a warm, it was dope. I get backstage, just like off to the side, I wasn't real backstage, and Tabby, who's very humble also, and just kind dude, soft-spoken dude, super arrogant right now, dancing. Oh shit, Murs. That's how he talks to my Tabby. I'm about to take all your fans. Uh-oh, Murs, you better watch out. I'm about to take all your fans. I'm dancing in my seat right now. Like little like kid and play, like side to side house with like house party dancing, like grooving and like getting ready to go on. I'm like, all right. I've never seen him like this the whole tour. I'm like, all right, I'm up, I'm in a good spirits now. I got my tea, I braved the cold. Fuck it. Yo. When I tell you it was crickets. Bro, it hurts my heart when my fan base does that to artists. I've seen them do it to many artists. I'm not even going to name names, but House of Blues, I've seen people do it to artists that went on to be huge or artists that passed away, and then everybody's like, oh, they were the greatest. I'm like, motherfucker, I flew people out. I paid people extra money just to get them to open up because I love them so much and you guys fronted on them. I've seen a lot of people front on Absol on that same tour. People close to me, they're like, I had on the bus, and they're like, oh man, you had me on the bus with the fucking greatest lyricists of all time after Control System dropped. I'm like, bro, come on.
Kick your games, bitch, your flow. Can't fuck with the top dog shit, though. Kick your games, bitch, your flow. Can't fuck with the top dog shit, though. Kick your games, bitch, your flow. Can't fuck with the top dog shit, though. Kick your games, bitch, your flow. Can't fuck with the top dog shit. shit though.
Wish I could see all the Selassie. Maybe my sovereignty will still be mine. If all the gangs in the world unify, we stand a chance against the military tonight. I said we stand a chance against the military tonight. I said we stand a chance against the military tonight.
Babylon, Babylon. At my window, all I see is Babylon. On the news, all I see is Babylon. And all niggas do is just Babylon.
So they were with Tabby. And he was so mad, but he doesn't get mad. He like put his foot up on the monitor and leaned into the crowd, like looking down because it was a high stage, looking down on him with his hand, his forearm over his knee up on his foot up on the monitors. Saskatoon? And I thought he'd be like, fuck y'all. Eat a dick. I'm real disappointed in y'all. He sounded like they were children, bro. He didn't scold them or anything. He was like, yo, like he was children he loved, and he had been raising them his whole life. And then just hit him with, I'm so disappointed in y'all. I'm disappointed in y'all. Saskatoon, you won't catch me around here no more. And he accidentally got tangled in the thing, but it looked like on purpose he turned around and ripped the wires out of my bass player's cabinet, and it fell and like made that sound and stormed off. I was like, oh shit. At this point now I'm back to angry like I was when I found out how cold it was outside. Now I'm angry again because I'm like, man, y'all, this is my friend now. Also an MC I love. What the fuck? And I just went out there like, I killed the show. I don't ever talk shit to the crowd. It's not your, it's your prerogative whether you like who opens up or whatever it is. Even if you don't like my show, I'm just going to rap my ass off. But my tour manager and tag like, why'd you do that? I was like, man, I was so mad that they fronted on you. I was mad for you. But I just made that into a intense show. It's also what happens when I don't drink, and I don't think I'll be drinking on this tour, y'all. So get ready. Energy level may be a little high, but since I don't have a DJ, I might have to stop and go and all this other stuff. But anyway, we get to New York, and I guess the term I didn't say last week was, I keep referring to last week as if you hold the show, is gatekeeping. And I don't really ever believe in that. When people blame their lack of success on gatekeepers, I'm like, what kind of person are you to let someone else keep you from something? You storm that gate. You hop that fence. You dig under that motherfucker. That's what we did. Living Legends, like, yeah, they were gatekeeping, I guess, but, you know, the whole fucking, a lot of people in the Bay, in LA, in the West Coast, like, it was an industry game, hip hop, in the 90s. ICP, Tech Nine, Def Jux, Hieroglyphics, like, Hieroglyphics, they kind of had people that were signed before, but I still give them the same credit. But, like, get on the internet, like, fucking go around these motherfuckers, man. Who are they to keep you? Like, you're giving them power with that thing, gatekeepers. But yeah, also, but once you're on the same level, people who don't make introductions, I don't know what to call that. I won't call it gatekeeping. Maybe that's gatekeeping. As if you needed that. But there's closing gate. There's multiple gates, though. You know, the gate that's meant for you, God will not put anyone else in front of it. I really firmly believe that. What's for you is for you. You just don't have the key to that gate. This motherfucker, if you got the key, can't nobody keep the gate closed. And God's going to give you the key to the gate that's meant for you, for sure. But Tabby wasn't like that. We get to New York, and he's just like, hey, man, like, I've been meeting with Damon Dash. You want to come up and meet? I was like, what? I think you two should meet. I'm like, what? Yeah, you got this label, and, you know, you got a festival, and you took me on tour. Maybe you can. I was like, okay. So he just, like, linked up this whole thing, and I am standing in Tribeca, which is legendary to me, in New York. I love New York City. Talking to somebody who influenced my grind, my career, like, man, has helped the careers of some of my favorite MCs. Wow. And he's just talking to me like regular, bro. He's like, oh man, you own a festival? And like, he's a person that speaks life into you, like speaking, man, how do you say that just so calmly and humbly, man? What? And showing the pictures, like, let me see, what? That? What? You on your own tour? You headlining and you blah, blah, blah. You what? You got your own merchandise? Like, a lot of people, at that point was slowly changing, but the mainstream rap game was very different. It was a real fight for Damon and D and Y, the Rough Riders, the two Rockefeller and Rough Riders to put on the Hard Knock Life tour. It was really challenging. on a lot of levels. So when they see somebody doing their own festival and their own things, like a black kid, especially with this crazy hair, fresh out of his deal with Warner Brothers, he's like, what is going on? And they, basically he had never heard of. And so it's like, yeah, man, you're welcome. You want to do a record on Blue Rock? Yeah, let's do it. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not in a deal. Like, I'm able to just talk. And so me, him, and he introduces me also that same night to Ski Beatz. Ski Beatz produced Feeling It. He has beats on Reasonable Doubt. But what I know Ski Beatz for is he was in a group called Original Flavor, where I first heard Jay-Z on the Can I Get Open remix. Hey, y'all, can I get open? He was a rapper in Original Flavor.
Hey, yo, T, can I get open? You know it. Hey, Jay, can I get open? You know it. Hey, y'all, can I get open? You know it. You wanna fly style? Ski's about to show it. As I, play it like Uno. Sing it, slam a jam, take it just like a sumo. I gets big, check out my finger, my jig 'em. Styles, I kick 'em. Sugar, smack, you dig 'em. Damn, I'm giving on a super slam. You knows who I am, you knows who I am. Back up, that's in order. Donna, get out the water. Nah, not yet. Ready, set, go. When I grab the mic, they get petrified. Why? Hey, I'm just so fly. Lions, tigers, bears, oh my God.
It's one of those tapes I saw. I was like, oh, am I going to buy another Bad Creation or am I going to buy Original Flavor? Am I going to buy Crisscross? And I always just got so close to buying it because I love Can I Get Open? But even back then, I was like, I kind of like that other guy rapping on it. I like the beat. Doom, doo-doo-doo-doo. But man, that guy, that nigga's fast. Like that, Jay-Z, jig it, boogie it,
You know it, hey, Ski, can I get open? You know it, hey, y'all, can I get open? You know it, you wanna fly style? Jay's about to show it.
Well, can I? It's never a question of how, but when I rip it, will I quit it, forget it? Still I always a point whenever I hit it. Biting's forbidden, don't do it, y'all done it too late, y'all did it. Now straight to the track, I'm burning your back like backdraft. Brothers who follow the track got a stutter, that nigga's fast. I pick up the pieces, I straighten it out like deep rock or see it, so creases, it's your choice, Jesus Christ. I'm nice like that, you're freaking gay, right? I flow like water, so put your finger in the dike. I slam, I got original flavor, pick up the jam. I killed Chico, and now it's just me, the man. Go get your gun, I go all out with a can. Brothers is having a hard
Anyway, I was like, man. So I never bought the album, but I was a real, I liked Original Flavor. So I'm like, oh shit. I had no idea he was the same guy that produced Lucchini for Camp Lo. Pilot Talk wasn't yet on my Currency was on my radar, but Pilot Talk wasn't on my radar. He had produced Pilot Talk for Currency.
What it? It's the pain in the tail of the game. Bitches slipping off their wet and rain. Uncork the champagne. Yeah. And she just won't ride with me. Yeah. She remember what it was. She remember what it used to be. But somewhere along the line she fucked up and realized she lost her seat. And now she just won't ride with a G.
He had all these live live people playing with him. Daru Jones, Brady Watt. Like this was all happening because Dane created this mecca for artists to come and like just create. Erykah Badu was performing in the basement. Zoe Kravitz's band. Like it was just artistic, like what, something you wouldn't expect. There was no champagne anywhere. Dame had just started smoking weed, so he was on a whole nother level. And he told me things that made me respect him even more. Because a lot of things like I don't agree with your lifestyle, blah, blah. But he had really just like turned over a new leaf, man. Seeing how he dealt with his children, with his diabetes, with just everything, man. He was just like, when you meet somebody and like, oh shit, like I was ready to respect you, but not like you kind of shit. And then I was like, oh shit, I now love you and respect you, bro. Because I seen the effort he was making into changing. Yeah, like he is crass, he's Harlem as fuck. But this wasn't the dude that was throwing champagne everywhere. Even though I liked and respected that dude. I loved and respected this man that I met. And then Ski Beatz, like I'm like, oh, he's like, yeah, Ski will do the whole album. I'm like, what? And I think we did Hip Hop and Love that night.
And I need to be with you tonight. Teleport, get with me at the speed of light. Neo Soul Flow, Jill Scott Overload. Tour bus, 50 cities, meet me on the road. PYT count max on overload. to the hip hop summer nights. Tribe Called Quest, MC Light and put me on the mic. For the love of my heart, you can break dance in the park. Need a beat girl with a killer artist. Play the lead role in my life, such a killer part. And if we ever grow
Now it's me, like I'm using rapping in my deep voice, being conscious of not rapping in my nasal voice, not enunciating as much. Like I'm trying so much, trying to throw swag in there, which was cringe as fuck. Why did I say that?
Hip hop and love. I remember the first time we hooked up. Can't remember the last time we broke up.
She the one to my two-step, perfect 16 that I ain't get to do yet. New J's, no hoodie, just a crew neck. Then I got with you when I knew that I was too fresh. She swagged me the hell out. New Public Enemy ain't never gon' sell out. Cause what we got is priceless. Mary J. real love, Spike couldn't write this. Watching Brown Sugar with the lights off. Used to sleep over on your nights off. Used to call me a sugar bear. Listening to Tupac, you would let me pull your hair.
But like Dame's like, yeah, you should wear. Like I'm wearing we shoot the video. I'm wearing a paid dude's crew neck in the video. I'm like, okay, crew necks are hip, blah blah blah. So I'm like, yeah. He's like, come back and you can record your album here at DD 172. I think it was 172 some street, Damon Dash, whatever. And Blue Rock was started, but the building was DD 172. I think I think they had by then they already had their own magazine. Yeah, the motor oil. It was just like Damon Dash entrepreneur gone crazy, So I think we did. I was tired as fuck. I was on tour, tired, up late, and when we did Hip Hop and Love. But it was the beginning of me working with Ski, and Ski was just like, yeah, man, Dame said we're going to do it, man. Like that. And yeah, so I went away, finished the tour, it was a road to pay dues, did that pay dues, came back to New York, and almost a year before my son was born. So yeah, I'm living free, hanging out with my wang out. So I think it was spring or summer when I came back to New York, and Dame was like, we're not at DD 172 anymore. Come up to the mansion in Woodstock. Huh? Come up to the mansion in Woodstock. You and Ski can record there. Or at the penthouse in Brooklyn. Huh? Greenpoint. He had a condo, not a penthouse, condo. And Ski had a condo. Ski had he was in the carriage house with his production and his sleeping area they called the dojo there. And then he also had an apartment or a condo next to Dame's condo in Greenpoint. Dame's like, yeah, if you need to go to the city, just take my car. Or, he didn't drive. So like, can you drive me here? I'm driving, hanging out, talking with, living, sleeping, eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner with Dame Dash in a mansion in Woodstock. I can't tell you how fucking, I am more business minded. I am probably more of a fan of, or just as much of a fan as Travis or Gwen as I am of Tech Nine. I'm just as much a fan of Damon Dash as I am Jay-Z. This was huge for me. Thank you, Tabby. I'm in the guy that was in the room that made some of my favorite music, and he's in the room listening to my music, listening to me rap. Yeah, that's the one. I'm like, holy shit. He's in the video for 316 Ways, which was an amazing song, but he didn't want to get in sample clearance trouble.
The industry is dead. Long live the king. Dropped from a headshot and it didn't feel a thing. Woke up this morning with the world in my hand. Money in my pocket, fly girl on demand. On the other hand, I can never waste time. I'm a everyday victim of a random hate crime. It's a scandalous game when you handling fame. Every amateur and lame wanna slander your name. Fake love, fake hugs, fake thugs, fake bloods. They turn around and sell it to the public like they ain't sus. I'm just so appalled, especially now I got as much dough as y'all, and I ain't never had to kill nobody, never had to sell coke. Spend it while you can.
He's writing my name and planning out things for Dry Erase Board. He made me the vice president of Blue Rock, put me on the cover of Blue Rock magazine. You have mentors, and you have like the mentors I've been blessed to have at certain points in my life, like Chang from Guerrilla Union, who's just like, yeah, I'm going to help you build a festival. Dame is like, yeah, we're going to build Blue Rock together. I want you to do this. And he's like, okay, cool. You got a tour, right? Let me call my man at Adidas. Shout out to Wex at Adidas. Kicked in immediately. He's like, yeah, let's just split it in half. Boom. No problem. Sitting with Ski and he's like, he's telling me he's the guy who came up for the hook for Lucchini. I'm like, what? Shout out to Tone Hooker, who was hanging out with the other member of Original Flavor. He's like, yo, telling stories about when Jay-Z was opening for Original Flavor on tour. Like, and some of the crowds were the same way that people were with the people that I had opening for me, and motherfuckers fronted on them. I'm like, wow, man, like, history, man. It was just getting a history lesson and getting to record with some of the greats. Damon Dash and Ski Beatz, two of the greats in hip-hop history. It's wild, man. It was like, wow. And then he was like, they had this club popping, the City Winery, before it was really blowing up. He kind of put it on the map. I think they still doing hip hop shit, but he was like bringing hip hop there. There's another small place where it was just Dame smoking a J, wearing basketball shorts, hanging out, putting people on, skiing his live band. So I brought the live band, Brady Watt, Joe Blacks, Harold on the keys, Joe Blacks on drums, Harold on keys, Brady Watt on bass, Ski on a drum machine. Am I missing anybody? And the band was playing. My brother, my cousin Chris Bowers, who we talked about multiple times, still proud of him. Should have won the Oscar for scoring The Wild Robot. Played on West Side Love on this record.
Real cute, spinning loop, Fairfax, 5'2", baby blue Air Max, hair pulled back, nails did up. I said, call me anytime you wanna get up north. Got a chick from Humboldt. White girl, dreadlocks with the good smoke. Got caught, went to jail trying to sell dope. Police asked me if I knew her, I said hell no. Had a lawyer broad, she kept me out of trouble. Cute face, briefcase with a nice bubble. Seattle girl, good to snuggle with on rainy days. Had to leave, hadn't seen the sun in 80 days.
Me getting to like make records with him and have him come up to Woodstock, me pick him up, because I was also, when I wasn't staying with Dame, I was staying in his apartment when he was out of town on the west side, upper west side of Manhattan. My little cousin's like in New York, graduated from Juilliard, got his master's, has his apartment. Me and my wife at the time were living in his apartment. It's just a wild time for me. It was like loving seeing my cousin get it in, and then being able to bring him to work with me and Ski and Dame. And then, you know, our piano player hearing like who my cousin was, like, oh, I know your cousin, he's ill. Like, it was just a time, man. It was really a dope time to be creating and recording this record.
They always go nuts. I had this crazy broad put voodoo on my toe nuts. At El Cholo, I met this Chicana chick. Short hair named Bianca, she was kinda thick. Couldn't deal with the brown and black politicking. She cut me off before a homeboy started tripping. I got a gangster chick, she from the projects. Always wear a bandana anytime we had sex. Punch my ex in the face.
Oh, let's talk about the cover. Dave Barnett did the cover, and like he was on staff at DD 172, and I was like, yo, what's up? He's like, Dane wants me to talk to you about the cover. I was like, I don't know. He did the Pilot Talk cover. Like, that's kind of the theme we're going for at Blue Rock. And then he saw that I had a comic, and he was like, what? And like, I was reading something off because I was caught up. So I was like doing my history, I think. And he's like, oh man, have you read Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing? Oh, I was reading Animal Man, I think at the time, or maybe with Jeff Lemire, whatever. And he's like, have you read Alan Moore's run on something? And he brought it to me, and let me borrow it. I read it, and then we like, let's come up with a comic story. So these aliens are coming out of the water, because I already told him like there's going to be the transformation of Declaration and Emancipation, and that's going to be my last record. Like, this is 2010, 2011 I'm talking to him about that. I think early 2011. So this is 14 years in the making, this album that's about to drop whenever it drops. Yeah. And that's where I kind of start with Epic Salutations.
Hiding your insulin for all the y'all that's listening. And you can listen in while I'm tripping out. I'm heaven bound, but I think I found a different route. A couple parsecs off of the main road. If you don't open up your mind, then you can't go. I travel rainbows, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, brightest light you ever seen. Selassie of the posse, making wine out of Rossi. Most high over money, Ted DiBiase. I take $1 million and gather all the scholars to make a rocket ship out of old school Impalas. Ghetto Interstellar, West Coast Cinderella. She riding shotgun and she rolling something hella. She passes it to me, but I don't smoke is what I tell her while I'm slinging moon rocks to these alien fellas. We 5,965 million miles away from Mars among the stars, but I'm chilling. Laps around the sun, fingers wrapped around the gun, and I'm shooting solar flares at your passengers for fun. That's how we have a good time on my planet, but you never came to visit. You didn't understand it. Take the boy out the hood, not the hood out of the rocket, man. Trying to make the most out of this galaxy. They lock me in, they cannot box me in. I traveled light years, cartridges of courage, cause we loaded up to fight fear. We might not win, but we never lose. With the sober kiss to shoot the business, so you better choose. It's love what rockets do. I use my rocket fuel to travel through the infinite, and this is what I brought to you. Hardcore rap about nothing at all, just some laser beams and quasars stuck in a jar. And this is all that I come up with so far. Living a lifetime on earth and looking up at the stars.
I remember where I was when Ski started making this beat. So we're doing this in real time. So he's telling me like Lucchini, Cavalo's doing that thing, and he was like just walking around the room. He showed me like this feeling, like he's like, yes, I walk around a room, Murs. Sometimes you just gotta feel it. And I'm like, I've always been so cerebral with my music. Like, yeah, like you know what I mean? Like hip hop and love is like, that's why I had Tabby do the hook, because he has movement. You know, he always has this nod, he has this swag. I'm like, man, like the vertical head nod to me is just like showing that you're being cerebral. There's no body movement to it, you know? Like that's why it's like backpackers and nod, you know, the head nod.
I got your head nod cause your neck knows it's back. Check it out like this and then like that. I got your head nod cause your neck knows it's back. Check it out like this and then like that. Got your head nod cause your neck knows it's back. Check it out like this.
But like full body rap, full body music, I never really made that. And I was like, all right, we got bands, we got live instrumentation. I'm one of the greatest producers of all time. Like, I don't want to get into that debate, but to me, one of the greatest producers of all time. He has classic records. And he's like, you know, like in multiple eras, like from Can I Get Open to Feeling It to Lucchini to Pilot Talk. And if you consider Remember to Forget. But yeah, man, it was just it was a vibe, bro. It was like, he's in the closet. So, and then we did Epic Salutations in Brooklyn, in Greenpoint. And he's in the closet. That's where the beat machine be set up. And the beat machine's in there. He's sitting outside the closet. And he just, and they're like, okay, I'd already talked to Dave about the cover. We're going to do these aliens. And he would come in and like, he would sit there and draw sometimes while I wrote. Because Dame's apartment was the corner apartment down the hall. So people would be working with him. And they were like, go down and check on Murs. If you ever seen I auctioned off the last of those posters, but me I'm on top of Dame Dash's refrigerator doing a photo shoot. And it's just like, that's, you know. So, you know, it was just like people creative coming in and out of the building, in and out of the mansion. It was just full on free creativity. And yeah, that was the vibe, the scene. So I'm sitting in the Brooklyn apartment with Ski. We're doing Epic Salutations.
Epic salutations to all around the nation, engaging in this form of energetic transformation. High form communication, the vibes we sending out to all who thought the real was lost and had to live in doubt. I try to finish out, I rarely replicate, represent and reproduce my records at respected rates. Quality, quantity, qualified sonically to correlate a classic catalog for the colony. Something like a pharmacy, hardest dope I'm pushing out. This is something heavy for the stoners getting smoked out. Loped out, psycho, nitro, glycerin, audio, insulin for all the y'all that's listening. And you can listen in while I'm tripping out. I'm heaven bound.
Love and Rockets was a comic book that was like indie, and it was at Golden Apple when I was growing up, and it was in the adult section. I was so scared to go in there. So that's where I heard the term first. I didn't know the band. And I love comics. And so it's funny, like, we started talking Love and Rockets, and I don't think I've read many of the Love and Rockets comics. However, I also did it because love and rockets. Because people tend to like the songs that I make about love, and then the hardcore rapping song. It's like doing 316 and then doing the breakup. So I was like, okay, Love and Rockets, like, you know, hardcore rocket shit and love songs. That's you know, I'm trying to craft a formula so that I could finally have this hit record or this platinum record or this Grammy winner. Like, what do people like from me? Let me stop trying to do what I want to do and do something I think people would like over beats that I think people would like. And Yeah, the Hernandez brothers that did Love and Rockets. Shout out to them. So that's where the Love and Rockets concept came from. Back to the music. So then I'm getting literal, of course. I say I want to make mass appealing music. Then I go start rapping about epic salutations. Engaging in this energetic form of transformation, high form communication to collate a classic catalog for the colony. Come on, y'all. I'm feeling myself. And the audio insulin for hitting those snares as he's making them. I'm like, okay, audio insulin for, because I'm hearing it go tat 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 on the beat machine. I'm like, audio insulin for all of y'all that's listening, and you could listen in. And I'm rapping it to him like I'm trying to do it like most rappers I'm hearing do it. Like I'm vibing with my producer. Heaven Bound's kind of shout out to Scarab. If you don't have the Scarab album, Heaven Bound. Yeah, and the last song on there is the dopest song I've ever heard. I used to go to this girl as fly as Saturdays, and every while she smiled my way like honey to me.
Saturdays, and every time she smiled my way like honey to me, I would hold my heart as well as my hopes back for fear of how she would have reacted if I was to express how I was attracted to her spectacular bosoms and bacular amenities. And every time I would see her ever so beautiful figure walking the earth, it would just confuse me, making me woozy. But I kept my mouth shut. I figured putting myself in such a position of vulnerability would just give her the power to either lose me or abuse me. So in the dark I stood, skylarking, I would ponder on what if, but the what ifs would have been solved if I wasn't so chicken shit to get involved in these matters of the heart. But that's all in the past and she's gone, leaving me gasping while asking, I wonder if I'll ever have another chance, wonder if I'll have another dance, and changing my circumstance to romance from wishful thinking. It was a day like this when we met in 1993. She came up to me, whispering something like sunshine while I was in line at a festival, which can compare to the festivities of a beauty. I moved our conversation from name into hobby, hobby into visions, visions to envisioning the two of us meeting up again, and she would just pick the time and place. The way our eyes embrace sublime trebles, bits and bass in an ideal song. I looked into her face and saw my future with less than perfect placement.
Wishful Thinking, one of the best songs ever made by any rapper. Heaven Bound, that album by Scarab is dope. So I'm shouting out Scarab, but I think I found a different route. A couple parsecs. I'm using parsecs in the rap that I'm talking about. I want to make sure I can't. And I talk about rainbows, which is kind of an allusion to what's going to happen because I know that I'm going to get to do Animal Style. I've been thinking about doing Animal Style. It's the only beat on here not done by Ski. It's done by my cousin Brandon, and I know I'm doing Animal Style. So for the LGBTQIA, I don't even think it's LGBTQ at this time, I think. I didn't know about the IA+. If it was, this is 2010. So I travel rainbows, red, orange, yellow, green. So this illusion that's going to happen later on the record. Selassie of the Posse. Still, even though I cut my dreads, still respected and still one of the most influential people in my life. I've read about, not in my life. Selassie of the Posse. It's supposed to be making water out of Rossi, like turning water into wine. But turning backwards. But Most High Over Money, Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, who also found God later in his career. That was the pun on that. Ghetto Interstellar, West Coast Cinderella, shouting out a song once again that a lot of people didn't like, but my God died of love, so I wanted to say that again. Going back to Not Smoking, shout out to Felt, on 3rd and La Cienega. She offered me some blunt. Damn, I wish I smoked indica still. Telling people I may say Selassie, I may have dreads, even though I don't have them now. But people don't know this when they hear the record because me getting a haircut is part of the transformation. It's on the inside of the record. Shout out to Kev at Frank's Chop Shop. And just like how life works, I'm talking about being in New York with my cousin. Kev, he worked for Frank 151, like that. They had a barbershop at the time. So I went to the Frank 151. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go cut my hair at a hip hop spot that has, a blog and, I'm doing all the things to be a real rapper, and so I'm like, all right. It turns out Kev cuts my cousin Chris's hair. We had no idea. 8 million, 9 million people in the city, and we got the same barber. And I'm living in his house, like the energy. I'm living in his apartment. I end up walking down the street, and the dude's like, yo, what's up, man? You're Murs, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? This is the guy that's going to cut my dreads. And of course, he turned out. It's a very sacred thing, but I'm trying to just do what's right for the, publicity. But I end up still being like, okay, like you've been cutting my cousin's hair when he's been away from home, from LA, and you guys have a friendship, so I'm sitting in the chair that has some significance to my family. I have no idea. So that was dope. Shout out to him. Shout out to Frank 151. 5,965 million. I was trying to get the number right and use it again, like there's a 133 million, something like that. There's a number that Freestyle Fellowship uses on Intercity Grills. I think Jupiter and Peace used it in 2 different songs. I was like, oh, that's dope. They have this big like number. And I was like, okay, I'm going to use 5,965 million somewhere else. I don't know if I did. Away from Mars, but I'm chilling, laps around the sun, it's just visual, like imagery. I just wanted to be like, paint a picture. You know, and I'm with the guy who produces for Camp Low. So I'm like, okay, they paint a lot of pictures, tell a lot of stories. This is the beat for it. He'll get this. I'm not scared of being weird. You know, sometimes I think I was in fear, not founded in anything, just my personal thing. Like Ninth Wonder wouldn't be into me being as weird or out there. And now I feel like, okay, this guy works for Camp Low. He worked with Spitta. Like, I get, you know, it's 11 Rockets, dude. I used to rock with y'all. Hardcore rap or nothing at all. Just some Laser Reason Quasar stuck in a jar. That's all I come up with. Man, it's just, to me, I love this verse. I love this song. I'm really proud of it. We shot a video for it. Nobody watched it. But I used to love performing it. I thought about performing it.
We'll do all that. This song's called Epic Salutations. Epic Salutations to all around the nation, engaging in this form of energetic transformation. High form communication, the vibes we sending out to all who thought the real was lost and had to live it down. I try to finish out, I rarely replicate, represent and reproduce my records at respected rates. Quality, quantity, qualified sonically, the correlated classic catalog for the colony.
Then we get right into Remember to Forget.
Remember.
I keep forgetting to remember to forget all the lies and all the bullshit, all the reasons that we had to call it quits. Pieces to our puzzle that never seemed to fit. Started out fast and ended so quick. For weeks on end, I was so sick. So the next time I start to reminisce, remind me to remember to forget.
Last night I sat down to cry over you. Then I stopped and asked myself why. Over you? And snapped out of it and got on with my day, cuz my life been a lot better since the breakup. You was only bringing me down. It was
During this time, I was really listening to George Strait.
Says she's had enough of me. I've had enough of her too. I might as well go on and set her free. She's already turned me loose.
He was a great country dude. I remember buying the George Strait and Elvis Presley. I forgot the black artist. There's one black artist I listened to during this album. The 3 artists I did the thing, and I'd be in Jane in Dame's red Jeep driving from New York to city to Woodstock. Yo, they're like, watch out for deers. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna wreck car, get hit by a deer, and it's Damon Dash's car on top of it. Fuck. But don't come, but staying late in Brooklyn, coming back up to the mansion, it was a lot of work. Not work, but a lot of driving, and I'm like driving slow with the high beams on. I'm sure all the locals are pissed at my fucking city slicker ass. But God forbid I get in an accident, but me even more worried, God forbid I fuck up Damon Dash's Jeep. Remember to Forget, man. I think maybe it was George, but anyway, during this time I remember George Strait. I was listening to George Strait. He's supposed to be the greatest country singer of all time, and then I realized that when I read the book that came with the box, it's like one of those long, skinny CD things, those super thick, with like 8 discs in there and like a booklet. I read the booklet and it's like he just had an ear. He never wrote a song in his whole career. He could just listen to a hit, and that's how people come to Nashville to write hit songs. I think he was like part of the beginning of that. You come and write a song, George Strait hears it, he picks it up, boom, I assume you get some publishing, he gets some publishing. And rappers get I just had an argument with somebody on Instagram about ghostwriting. I'm like, bro, Eazy-E changed my life. He never wrote a rap. Same Dr. Dre, never wrote a rap. Biz Markie, I don't know if he ever wrote a rap, but the Vapors changed my life, and Big Daddy Kane wrote it, and he said it. And Big Daddy Kane wouldn't have had the effect on me that Biz Markie had, because Big Daddy Kane was cool, I wasn't. And the fact that somebody from the hood could grow up and be weird and quote unquote unattractive and make people catch the vapors was inspiring to me. So I don't give a fuck who wrote it.
And even the press say what's the meaning of VAPORS? The meaning of this word, without no doubt, means nobody wanna be down when you're down and out. Now when you're established and got a lot of money, everybody wanna be your buddy and honey. Like tall buildings they call skyscrapers. And you feel it. Nothing can save ya, but this is the season of catching the vapors. And since I got time, what I'm gonna do is tell you how they spread it throughout my crew. Well, you all know TJ Swan, who sang on my records. Make the music nobody beats the biz, well check it. Back in the day.
I don't give a fuck about ghostwriters. To me, I think hip-hop is immature and needs to grow up. As long as motherfuckers are willing to admit it, I think nobody admits it because there's such a stigma around it. There shouldn't be a stigma around it. I don't know what songs Michael Jackson wrote. I don't know if he wrote any of the ones I love, and I don't give a fuck. Same thing with Prince. Like, Prince is giving songs to somebody. I'm so glad he gave Nothing Compares to You to Sinead O'Connor.
It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away. I go out every night and sleep all day.
If she was concerned about getting her bars up and not having a ghostwriter, man, what the fuck? Shout out to B Plus and Brother Ali once again. Listen to that podcast. Like, she had some great moments, and a lot of it was because of that song. Anyway, I got less like, then I was listening to Elvis, and I was like, man, the ex that I don't know if I can get into the ex that I wrote Remember to Forget About. I had an amazing grandmother, and she was really into Elvis, and she was the first black person I knew that was into Elvis. Until my own auntie, there's a house, I seen a picture up in her house of this cowboy my whole life. And I finally asked her recently, I was like, auntie, like, is that, she's in her 90s. I'm like, is that a black cowboy? Like, should I be like, I'm like, man, like, I'm starting my elders as they're still blessed to be here. My dumb ass hasn't been asking the right question. And she's like, that's Elvis, baby. I was like, I didn't know black people were into Elvis like that. And my stance has softened on Elvis a bit over the years. But I was definitely like, Remember to Forget came from some Elvis song that I was listening to. But the woman that I loved and respected, my ex's granny, she loved Elvis. I was like, man, it just gave me more, like, she would just watch Elvis movies as she got older, like, on repeat. I'm sure a lot of grandmothers in America now, so it's not just it's an American culture thing, not a black and white thing. I thought it was a black and white thing. So I was like, oh man, in my mind, like, if I steal a Elvis hook, that's like for the culture. And then if I use it to diss the ex that Granny used to watch, I was like, woo. So like, that's my intricacies of my love song, and make a great little diss love song. And I was like, yeah, man, stealing. And then another artist that I was around at the time posted, or one of his managers posted, "Steal Like an Artist." And I was hot because of some shit that was going on. Because I felt like I was getting stolen from. There's no stealing. There's only influence. My ego, I'm still learning at this point. But I was like, cool. But I was like, I wasn't going to be mad. I was like, all right, let's get even. Motherfuckers take some of my shit. I'm going to take some of their shit. I'm going to take two. Not some of their shit. I was like, I'm going to take two. And I'll take from somebody who took from black culture. And try. And so this is where the formula worked, because Remember to Forget is one of my biggest records. And it worked. I saw it work. Ski did the beat. I knew it was that. The video was shot by, I forget the young lady's name. Loved having a video shot by a woman. I was just like, whatever. She's like, you don't have any concepts? Like a lot of rappers, it's like, can I pour paint on you and then put it in her? I was like, whatever you want to do, man. Like, you've met my wife at the time. Like, I'm with it. And it was a beautiful video. Women love the song. Women love the video. This is where, like, we would have been, I think, once again, like, as we started to push this record, Dame fell out with the distributor. There was a falling out with the distributor, so we didn't push this record. If we had been able to push this record, I think it could have done, as the words of the great Larry June, done numbers. Good job, Murs. Hey. And we're going to end this episode right there, y'all. Finally, new music from the album, Love and Rockets 316, as we talk about Love and Rockets 1. This Friday, or whenever you listen to this, March 14th, the first single drops, Silver Lake Rec League. And the B-side or double A-side, Flowers for Will I Am. Make sure you check that out. Love y'all.
Silver Lake Rec Leagues rap, Jesse made the slap, kicked all the kiddies off the court and never gave it back. Yeah, sinister, monotheist, the minister, holla bread beginning and Manischewitz the finisher, terrorize the temperature, serenading the signature, Serengeti salute, the camel carries the emperor, nobody remembers you, second place trophy type, take the L and get a BBL for your trophy wife, watching where she go at night, she ain't coming home tonight, trust your gut, I know it's right, I wrote it cause I know your life, screaming culture, but you never left the country. Your girl look like she want me, I'm just trying to borrow her scrunchie. Hooping with my friends at the Silver Lake Gym. Never made the league, but we still making M's. Hair long, looking real cute. We in the gym, so my shooters gotta shoot. We in the stand, shoot. Hooping with my friends at the Silver Lake Gym. Never made the league, but we still making M's. Shoot, I wanna play the game like Durant, but I can't. Would never switch camps just so I could be the champ. Rep the same tribe, we been down since Crush Drive. Born a leader, pop right out at Cedars on the west side. West LA to Chevy, nothing but the best vibes. Rolled up all the evidence to smoke the pack, now let's slide. Got suspended in class with my eyes red. That's the first time moms made me cut my dreads. Crazy bald head with the Crips in the crap game. Used to be the posse, now they banging Fairfax gang. Damn how the Ave changed, now it's looking mad strange. Homies getting money, I ain't saying it's a bad thing. Hooping with my friends at the Silver Lake Gym. Never made the league, but we still making M's. Hair long, looking real cute. We in the gym, so my shooters gotta shoot. We in the stand, shoot. Hooping with my friends at the Silver Lake Gym. Never made the league, but we still making M's.
Thanks for listening to the Best Rapper in LA podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on Spotify, Apple, wherever it is. If you like the show, leave a review on Apple Music or Spotify. And to support the podcast directly, go to patreon.com/MURS316, Murs316. See y'all next week. Peace.